Hello, welcome back to a special episode of Man vs. Weed, the Cannabis Review Podcast. Thanks for taking the time to give me a listen. Make sure you follow me at Street Villain and email me at manversusweedthc@gmail.com. This episode's a little different. Instead of a review, I'm going to focus on a particular component of the cannabis plant. I'm going to take a deep dive on it and take a look at some of the science behind it. Cannabinoids are the chemicals that interact with the cannabis receptors in your brain and the rest of your body, such as the lungs, liver, and kidneys. To get to the brain, they are absorbed through the bloodstream and travel to the brain via receptors in the cortex, cerebellum, and basal ganglia. There are two types of cannabinoids that our bodies use: endocannabinoids, those produced by our bodies, and phytocannabinoids, which are derived from plants. The phytocannabinoid we're going to look at today is called THC, or tetrahydrocannabinol. I'm sure you've heard of it, but THC is one of hundreds of cannabinoids produced by the plant in useful quantities, such as CBD, CBG, CBN, and CBC. We'll take a look at those in a future episode, but today we're going to focus on THC. Tetrahydrocannabinolic acid is the most common cannabinoid produced by cannabis. Some strains have been known to produce up to 25% of their weight in THC. And while THC is well known for its psychoactive effects, while it's still in its raw THCA form, there is none. It is not until heat is applied to the THCA that it converts to THC by a process known as decarboxylation. This happens automatically when you vape or smoke it, and that's also why nothing happens when you eat raw cannabis. It needs to be heated up to a correct temperature for a correct amount of time, and you need to avoid cooking off sensitive cannabinoids and terpenes. As it turns out, our bodies don't like absorbing raw cannabinoid acids. However, when heated up, they give off a carbon dioxide molecule transforming into a neutral state. This makes them far more easy to absorb by our bodies, or bioavailable. This allows us to use more of the THC cannabinoid, and in turn it increases our psychoactive effects. Even so, 70% of that THC is excreted through feces and urine. THC interacts with the CB1 and CB2 receptors in your brain. Those receptors are basically an antenna, and the THC is the signal. THC is a completely safe chemical with many positive benefits. Some of those positive benefits include potent anti-inflammatory, powerful analgesic, and effective neuroprotector. Neuroprotectors protect cells from damage, degeneration, and impairment of function. It has even been found to reduce intraocular pressure in the eyes. It can help with spasticity caused by brain damage or spinal cord injury, and muscle tension. So you see, it's not just about getting high. There's a lot more to it than that. There are isolated synthetic THC products, and they just don't work as well as the real thing. The most likely because of the entourage effect. This is the process by which cannabis components work together, like the Avengers, to get the job done. It's kind of like a cake recipe. All the ingredients come together to make something delicious. But if you single out the flower all by itself, you're going to fucking ruin the birthday. Finally, there is no known lethal dose in humans. In 2003, the WHO even recommended that THC be reassigned to Schedule 4 drug status, citing low likelihood of abuse and medical benefits. So that's the much-loved THC. I hope you enjoyed and learned something. If you did, please make sure to like, sub, and smoke a fat joint. If you would like to follow me, I'm at Street Villain on Twitter, or email me at manversusweedthc@gmail.com. Thanks for checking it out, and free the weed.